Welcome back to VINNY'S Aquatics. I'd like to take a time out and say thank you to everybody who's shown support. I appreciate it so much. You don't understand. Now, a little update on the fish room. We have the Fahaka. Look at him. He's just enjoying life now in his big tank all by himself. He's been eating clams on a half shell. Definitely pigging out. Oh, look, he's in love with himself in the mirror. But that's him. Now this I have another video I'm making. This is a 65-gallon tall. It's a grow-out tank for 6 spotted puffers. The freshwater spotted puffers. And they're going to grow out in here. I'm probably going to keep 2, 3, I don't know. But I'm going to give the others away to some friends of mine. Here's the big boy, the saltwater spotted puffer, or the stars and stripes puffer. Look at that boy. Look at the belly on him. He loves his clams on a half shell. And there are the other fish that I added in a previous video. This is a beautiful tank. I'm really happy with this. This was my first saltwater tank, by the way. And look at that. Look at that beauty in the background. Look at that. Look at the spots on that fish. Look at that. I love that fish. But enough updates. It's controversy time. Now, in this video, what I want to talk about is the fishless cycling myth. Yes, I said it. The myth of fishless cycling. Now, I see a lot of people online. They say you got to allow a tank to sit for a few weeks or a month, or maybe longer, before you add your fish. Now, I agree. It's a good idea. Set your tank up for 24, 48 hours. That way you can see if it has any leaks. You can set up all your equipment and get it running. And you can put your heater in and get it up to temperature. Especially if you use the old school heaters, like I have in a few of these tanks, where you have to self-adjust them. So that's why I recommend setting up your tank 24 to 48 hours before introducing your fish. I hear people say, Vinny, my tank's been set up for weeks, a month. It's cycled. I'm ready to add fish. But, sorry to burst your bubble, but it's not that easy. This is referred to as the cycling process, even though your aquarium cannot cycle until you add your fish. This is also termed setting a tank. Regardless of the terminology, it is unnecessary. But I can hear you all now. Cycling an aquarium with fish in it is dangerous. And it's cruel. How could you do that? Well, actually, cycling a new aquarium with fish is the easiest, safest, most reliable, and humane way to cycle the tank. Now, fish in cycling is only, I repeat, only bad if you put too much fish into the tank. If you have too much of a bio load, and also if you don't do your water changes. Yes, I know people say don't do a water change when you're cycling, but that's another myth. I'm about to explain that to you next. But remember, it's not cruel as long as you don't overstock. Don't overstock and do your water changes, and you'll be fine with a fish in cycling. And I'm going to explain to you later on why that makes sense. People say, don't change the water when you're cycling your tank. Well, that's another myth. Let me explain to you why. So, people say, no water changes during cycling. This is not only incorrect, but it's also harmful. You should do water changes while cycling. Not only might it help speed up the process of cycling, but it reduces your fish's stress while going through new tank syndrome. That's why you do your water changes during your cycling. Another myth is people think if you add aquarium water from an existing aquarium, that it's going to help you cycle faster. But beneficial bacteria, it only grows on hard surfaces. It's a very negligible amount in the water column. So by taking that water column, the old water, and pouring it into a new tank, you're really not doing anything. It's not going to benefit you at all, and you just put in dirty water in a new tank. So stop doing that. Stop it! But back to those people who say, Vinny, you gotta wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. Sometimes they don't even know the answer. Well, that's not how the nitrogen cycle works. Cycling a tank is the process of establishing a healthy bacteria, a colony in your tank and your filters. The only way this can happen is for the bacteria to consume ammonia. Where does the ammonia come from? It comes from fish waste. And without that source of ammonia, the bacteria cannot be established, causing your tank not to cycle. You could make a case your tank is still sitting there, uncycled after all these weeks, after all these months. Now, the only exception to this rule is potting soil or eco-complete. Because these come with bacterial cultures in them, and they give up a ton of ammonia as they break down in the water. If you're enjoying this content, if you find this interesting, if you like the conversation, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and share these videos. Because I think more people want to hear about things like this. What do you think? And please, leave some comments down below. And there are those that say, what about those bottles of bacteria, huh? Well, okay. There's things like stability and other bacteria in a bottle. But let's think about it for a second. Those products, how long have they been on the shelf? In a bottle that gets no oxygen. Do we even know how long? The expiration date is for years. But let's even say they do work. So what you're doing is you're adding bacteria. It's good. But the bacteria need something to consume, which is ammonia, which comes from, you got it, fish waste. So, even if you add the bacteria, until you add your fish and your source of ammonia for them to eat, to consume, and you're basically still not cycled. You might run your tank fishless for 2-3 months, however long you want, 2 weeks. Then you add your bacteria, then you add your fish, and what you just did was start a fish in cycle, whether you want to hear it or not. So, take it from me. Don't put too many fish in. Don't overload your tank, but start with 3 fish. Do a fish in cycle. And if you really want to help yourself, take some filter media from an old tank, an established tank, squeeze it out into the new tank, and that'll help. But, like I said, if the bacteria doesn't have the ammonia to consume, it's not going to thrive, it's not going to live, and by the time you put your fish in it, you're starting all over again with a fish in cycle. That's it from VINNY'S Aquatics. I hope I got you fired up with this one. Also, I want to tell you, don't use speeder goldfish as a cycling fish. for your fish in cycle. Unless you want to have a tank of feeder goldfish. But eventually you're going to have to do something with them after you get your tank going. So just start out with one of the hardier 2 or 3 of the fish that you want in that tank long term, and you're going to be okay. And I'm going to make another video on why you shouldn't feed feeder fish to your fish. It's going to be called Parasite. So stay tuned for that one. But just put a couple of the fish you want to start with. You have a saltwater tank, throw a couple of damsels in it. That's a good way to start it. Freshwater tank, what do you want to put in? You want some tetras, some parrots, some catfish? Just make sure you don't overload the system. Let that bacteria build up. How's it going to build up? By consuming ammonia, which is fish waste. So you got to have a couple fish in there. Thank you. I hope it's starting to creep in. You got to have a couple fish in there before the cycle starts. Do me a favor. If you find this interesting and you like this content, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit the do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, hit the subscribe button. Damn it.